Is Black Thought a trillion times better than Jay-Z? Is he better than Jay-Z at all? I don't know. Let's talk about it. I'm Sean, Lonegevity with Bringing Down the Band and the New Old Heads podcast, and this is my Unpacked series where I typically go deeper on New Old Heads segments and sometimes some other media as well. Today I'm going to talk about a segment from episode 447 called Black Thought is a Trillion Times Better Than Jay-Z, which is a quote from Will.i.am when he was on Sway in the Morning. So let's watch this segment and get into the conversation.
Has Will.i.am lost his damn mind? That's my question.
Black Thought is a trillion times better than Jay-Z.
A trillion?
Trillion.
Okay. What's your logic behind that?
I think it's funny when he said a trillion.
My mind's eye, there's a battle that's going to happen, or it already happened in my mind. And seeing Black Thought, what he's capable of just off the top. And yeah, Jay's off the top is dope too. And Jay's dope, don't get me wrong.
No.
But Jay's already said everything that he's just regurgitating everything he's already said, including other rappers.
Mm-hmm.
When everything that Black Thought comes up with is like, wait, I never heard that one. Wow, you split that word up like that? Damn, like and that's just my that's just me.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of people that be like, what the fuck you know about hip hop, Will.i.am? I don't give a what you think. I just know what I think and what I in my head, Black Thought, top 5 MCs. It's always Biggie, Tupac, Nas, Jay. I'm like KRS, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, KRS, Nas, Black Thought.
That's a
He said
nice
KRS
five.
twice.
Yeah, that's a nice five.
He did.
Well, you know, sometimes you got to put somebody in there twice.
Okay, man. So, Spools, I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah.
You've been outside as long as we have. When you hear this from Will.i.am, can you somewhat see what he's saying as it relates to, I guess, lyrical ability? And here's why I say
the way that Mike is framing this, I don't even really like, because he's framing it from the standpoint that, like, this is nonsense. Jay-Z is way better than Black Thought. And
that Black Thought might be the only person in my lifetime that has never had a whack verse.
Yeah, I agree. I like Black Thought better than Jay-Z. If you guys remember,
I'm so
back
glad
when we
you're
did the
GOAT.
back when,
Yes.
when we did that,
Yes.
that
It
discussion, it was Black Thought.
was,
man.
it was Black Thought.
Jay-Z, I think I weighted his score down a little bit. He fell outside of the top 5 or something.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I showed this on a recent Unpacks, but I think maybe I'll throw it up there again, maybe not. But it's like Black Thought scored like 8.66, Andre scored 8.64, and Jay-Z scored 8.60. So it was all within like 0.06. So it was really close. But yeah, we, based upon the 10 pieces of criteria that we ranked everybody on and all 5 of our opinions and biases, Black Thought triumphed in our GOAT thing. So he was third.
Was
I
it
think
third?
he ended up
Was
third.
They were all within like 0.5 though.
Were they? So
Yeah, we've done this before.
Yeah, it was actually 0.05 or something. So
yeah, to me, this is like the eternal kind of schism in hip hop, especially when it comes to like rappers and things like that, right? So Jay's extremely talented, but as far as the skill of rapping is concerned, I prefer Black Thought to Jay-Z. There are things that when Jay-Z raps, I think I know what he's about to say.
Don't like Will.
When Black Thought raps, I have no clue what he's about to say. Like, no clue. I've never heard Black Thought ride someone else's wave or rap in a way that's popular right now. I've heard Jay do that before.
I have heard the argument that he got his style from Malik.
Black
That's
Thought
a good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
I've heard Jay-Z got his style from Camp Low.
And Young Chris.
And Young Chris.
Young Guns. If we being honest.
You
Young
know?
Chris debunked that. But.
Or Jazzo.
Sure,
to a
Jazzo. That's who I
degree,
was
too.
thinking.
Good point.
You know?
Another good point.
Both awesome, but I feel like this is like a Kendrick Drake debate too. Like it's almost like a very similar thing to me. It's like, do you want something for your head that's really gonna like put some fat on your head and make you think a little bit, and maybe you have to listen to it 2 or 3 times. And I like that kind of music, that kind of hip hop a lot.
I respect it.
And some people don't, and that's cool. And I'm not saying Jay doesn't have depth, because he definitely does, and he has wordplay and he has all that stuff too. But
he has all of it.
It's a different level. Black Thoughts is just a different level because Jay-Z is intentionally palatable. And not to say that Black Thought isn't to some degree, but Black Thought is like something else.
There's just a difference there.
There's another level.
Yeah, it's different. Honestly, Jay would tell you that Black Thought is a better MC than himself.
You think so?
Absolutely. He told you on a song that
Common
was a better MC than him, and that 𝗕𝗥𝗪𝗡 was a better MC than him. But at the end of the day, he wanted to make monetary decisions would let him to rap a certain way. and he is very good at rapping that certain way.
No doubt.
I just don't agree with the trillion times.
I will give Will.i.am some kind of peace because
Come on.
I recently seen an interview with Alchemist, and he was talking about how he came. Alchemist actually had his verse record deal at 10 years old. Not 10. He was in like the 10th grade or something.
He was young.
Yeah,
Very
he was
young.
with that dude that was on ESPN and somebody else, right?
So
Yeah.
he was talking about how he
Shout out to
came up.
Max.
He was talking about how he came up, and a lot of the circles he was running around, Will.i.am was in those circles, rapping circles around people. So the cloth that Will.i.am is cut from is an MC's cloth.
Yeah.
He was originally signed to Ruthless Records with his group, which was different. Then they led on to being Black Eyed Peas, which was a pop rap group.
Yep.
So we know him as that. So I'm not questioning his ear, but him saying a trillion times better than Jay-Z is
that's
a little
hyperbole,
far
man.
fetched.
That's super
But,
hyperbole.
I mean we're on a podcast where we actually did an MC list,
We did.
and Black Thought won that list. So when we talk about an
And when we say that, like, he won that list, and I know sometimes people get a little, like, weird about it. It's like, it's not like our favorites. Like, Black Thought's not my favorite MC. I don't think he's anybody on the panel's favorite MC. But when we stacked everything up, don't get me wrong, he's probably in my top 5. But like, it wasn't like a feelings based thing. It was like, well, how good is this person based on this category? All right, cool, let's rank. And so so when we say, he intentionally says when he won it, it's like, yeah, we combined all of our scores together based upon everything, and he was the one that was on top. Like, there was no embellishing. It was just like, oh, okay, that's what it is.
MC does not win the popularity contest.
No, not at all.
You know what I'm saying? But to your point, and we've had that discussion many a times.
Yes, sir.
You've never heard a whack Black Thought rap.
I haven't.
But to your point, and kind of what I was saying before too, like there's just always this. There's always been like this. I don't know. I wouldn't say always. And Jay, you could probably speak to this maybe more, just being older and knowing some of that old. Like, when did this split between like being a heady MC was dope versus being like this clever, catchy MC is really what's doper? And then it kind of went like this.
I always say the same thing. Summer
96.
1996, the day it was written, and Stakes is High came out the same day.
And Jay has this opinion, and I've heard this. He's mentioned this before. And I've also heard opinions in relation to, like, it was Biggie, and I've also heard relations to, well, it was Nas, and then I've also heard opinions, well, it's when the white businessmen, the capitalists, really finally realized that hip hop was a gold mine, and then they came in and they popularized it, and that's in the 90s as well. But yeah,
Okay.
I think there was where all the and also
But to me, those are similar.
Those are very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar.
yeah, but at the same time there was also this thing where Nas had the record where it was specifically geared towards radio sensibilities. They're like, okay, we have a
If
plan
I
for
Ruled
this.
the World.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as much as we love Stakes is High and The Business, those weren't songs that were specifically geared to work on what was a new format, and depending on where you were at the time, hip hop radio.
I've heard people say Biggie, like when Biggie came out.
It has to be Biggie because honestly,
capitalism.
especially being a Midwest kid,
Talk to him.
Nas and De La Soul were not top tier artists in the Midwest unless you were in a niche of friends that really rock with hip hop shit.
I was in that group.
This is a southern West Coast driven area.
Big time.
So when we talk about those two groups, I don't necessarily agree with that. But even when we talk about Black Thought, I remember going to the Jazz Fest in Cincinnati pre-COVID. The Roots were one of the opening acts.
Yeah.
I was excited to see Black Thought rap. The Roots as a whole, because those are some of the best concerts I've ever been to, seeing the Roots live. When I tell you the attention span in that stadium, this is Paul Brown Stadium.
Yep.
When the Roots were on stage and Black Thought is rapping, they were having conversations amongst themselves while I'm enjoying Black Thought rapping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if this is a Jay-Z concert,
Yeah.
it's going to be a different situation.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's very niche when it comes to somebody that appreciates somebody that knows how to put words together and can rhyme in different schemes and patterns and always give you something different versus somebody that knows the formula that can give you the radio play, give you some fly shit, and make you want to party.
Yeah.
A lot of times this statement is kind of like positioned in a sense that like Jay-Z is doing something that others can't. And I kind of reject that idea. I just feel like some artists are not willing to compromise their intent to a specific degree. And that's not to say that Jay-Z is necessarily compromising, but that's just kind of what he wanted to appeal to. Black Thought is never going to do that because that's not who Black Thought is. And a lot of other artists as well. There's certain artists that will never cross into that mainstream realm because it takes having to cater to a particular type of, I don't even want to say audience. It's just like a certain level of consumerism sometimes. And when you inject yourself into too much of that, it can kind of change your intentions. And I think that's the one reason why I do like the stuff Black Thought has done, because he's just always seemingly rejected that.
Black Thought has never made me want to party, but I will play him at a party.
For sure, man. Absolutely.
So, bro,
you made a good point real quick. When I saw Jay-Z and Jeezy together at
I've seen that same
Live.
Blueprint 3 concert.
And who were the fans live for? I remember.
Jeezy.
Yeah, it was Indiana. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jeezy opened for Jay-Z.
Yeah.
that night.
So let me
what's going on here?
ask y'all this.
It was Jay-Z's tour.
What's going on here? We got some skipping.
If Black Thought is separate from the Roots, he has Bink, Kanye. He has access to these
He did
guys.
stuff with DJ Crush. That's amazing, dude.
Like,
it's
if he has
incredible.
access to all these producers, do we think his pen is versatile enough to make hit records?
Who cares? That's the thing. Like, again, like I don't like the positioning like hit records, making hits has nothing to do with being a great MC to me. It's not. It's a different thing.
Still be able to have lyrics. Jay is the one person that I think has the skill set to be lyrical and still make dope records. Black Thought, I think Black Thought, the lyrical part is undeniable. Can he make dope records on his own?
Dope records on his own?
That's the only part that separates them from.
And again, I hate this conversation too, because it puts this idea out there that if you're a part of a band, all of a sudden you as an MC is lesser than. And I just reject the premise. Like I completely reject the premise that because you're a part of a group or because you're part of a band, all of a sudden, like, you're not as good of an MC, you know, and because it's like, it takes it down this path of like popularity. It's like Andre 3000 is one of the greatest of all time. Black Thought is one of the greatest of all time. The fact that they were a part of iconic groups and or bands, to me, as somebody who's been a part of groups and bands, historically, that's what I've been a part of, was a group. But like, and I've done solo stuff. That it's not harder or easier necessarily to do one or the other. Some people think that it's harder to do solo work, but I would say sometimes it's often more challenging to work with a collaborative major group of people. And when you're writing songs, you're writing songs. When you're writing verses, you're writing verses. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I hate this. You said dope records. Do you mean dope records or hit records? Because you said both.
I'm glad you said that, Lone. Hit records.
Hit record
What's going on with this? Why does it keep doing that?
doesn't equal high quality music.
What's going on here? And that's a good point by Spools right there.
That's fair.
It means popular.
That's
it.
fair.
And I've accepted that
Exactly.
over time. I used to,
fair.
I've been in those arguments when I was younger about KRS-One being better than this person and kind of the stuff Will.i.am is doing. I don't do that shit anymore.
That's fair.
Man.
That's fair.
Hip hop's beautiful in that they have all these flavors that you can like or not like if you want, man.
Yeah.
And while I tend to be a more cerebral person or whatever, so I lean towards that kind of hip hop, I still have an appreciation for Gucci Mane. And I'm not putting him down and acting like he's not. Like, he's sharp. He knows what he's doing, but he makes records that they're, for the most part, for
his
people
pocket.
to party to,
Yeah.
man. You know what I mean?
100%.
And to make money. So, but it just doesn't necessarily mean the best quality song. And that's why, to me, the academics of the world and what I see going on in hip hop journalism is kind of whack, because all that guy can talk about, and people in that vein, is how many records somebody sold. And to me, that just doesn't mean that much. Now, on a personal level, as a human, and you made money off your art, congratulate, and I'm good for you. I think that's fantastic. But if we're just talking about the art, which people...
Yeah, let me see what the fuck is going on here with this, because it's been wigging out on me and I'm not really quite sure what's going on here. The battery was about to die. All right, let's do this.
These conversations, and I'm not sometimes sad to not be on the like, I don't miss that part of it, of like okay, I have to tell another person who's a huge NBA YoungBoy fan why they should listen to Black Thought. No, I'm done. I don't want to have that don't listen to him if you don't want to. That's cool.
That was part of the reason why Brad kind of left the show too. It was like, he was just like, man, I just don't want to talk about, he's like, I don't want to allow space for this to be in my life, which is respectable. Sure.
Listen to NBA Youngboy.
And if you don't know, this is DJ Spools. He was on our show historically when we started the New Old Heads for multiple years. He went on a hiatus, kind of retired. Jay Moore took his spot. But he's back. He's back. Brad's coming back once a month to be our 5th panelist. So super excited about that.
And Kodak Black and all that stuff all day long. If
And
that's
be
what
good
you
with
like,
that. Yeah.
awesome, man. But do not step into the realm of talking about high quality emceeing and lyrics and things like that. But that rule doesn't apply anymore too, because anybody with a voice or one of these who can get on the internet can talk about how such and such is the best rapper of all time. It doesn't matter.
Just look at the complex media list for who's in the top.
I saw that and I was like, damn, man, that's where we're at.
Yeah, let's look at this. Let's look how ridiculous this is. Let's look how ridiculous this is, right? The power rankings, right? If we just scroll down through this, I don't even know who this guy is. Maybe he's great. Maybe he's not. That's fine. Popcast, New York Times, cool. Zias, and B. Lou, don't know who they are. Maybe they're great. No idea. Wow, massive YouTube following. All right, that's cool. Arshan Jawad. Kids Take Over. No idea who this is either. That's cool. Angela Yee. Really? I mean, I haven't heard anything from her in like, is she on the radio now or something? I don't know. I haven't heard from her in years. Bootleg Kev, he's consistently dropping hip hop related stuff. Big Boy, of course. Big Boy's Neighborhood. Nadeska, okay. Fair, I guess. DDG, he's a Twitch live streamer, you know. He raps, so I guess maybe. Elliot Wilson, yeah, he's got the DX thing. DJ Head, yeah, I think they do. I think they actually are on the same podcast on DX with Anthony. No, not Anthony. What's his name? Jeremy. Jada Kiss and Joe is already number 15, which is crazy. They've been doing this for what, 3 months? You know, it's popular. Shannon Sharp, he's not a hip hop. What are we talking about? He's not a hip hop media person. Trap Laura Ross. Again, this is a name that I know, but I don't know any of their material. Ebro, sure. Nori, sure. You know, very consistent. Gillian Wallow, sure. Rory and Mal, sure. Seems high, but sure. Anthony Fantano. I mean, you can argue he does cover and he does linger into the hip hop space a lot, but he's not just primarily a hip hop thing. So I would probably rank him a little bit lower because of that specifically. Nardwar seems pretty high to me, you know, because kind of the same thing. Like he's not hip hop specific media. DJ Vlad, like I guess he covers a wide range. A lot of shit posting though. Charlemagne, sure. Plaque Boy Max, I guess. You know what I mean? He's a live streamer. Producer Joe Budden. Joe Budden should be number 1. Joe Budden is the model. Academics being this high, like really? And Kai Sinet's not even a hip hop media person. Like, so, I mean, it's one thing to be a live streamer, and it's another thing to be like a hip hop live streamer. Kai's only on this list because he's black. But that, anyways, that goes into the conversation we're having here. So.
Speaks volumes, bro.
That was almost a topic I threw in there today, but I didn't.
But I'll pass to Jay, but I love that. Like I like Black Thought and the Roots, and I like some Jay-Z songs. I'm not a huge Jay-Z fan. I love Gucci, and I love Pee Wee Longway from Atlanta, and I love De La Soul, and I love Big Crit, and I love Dell, and I love, you know, I like some of Sibo and Brother Lynch from back in the day. I love Mac Mall, I love Mac Dre, I love Wu-Tang Clan. Like that's what makes hip hop beautiful.
Fools, I just listened to Pastor Troy the other day.
There you go.
I think there's a lot of hyperbole going on with, you know, this actual take, you know, with Sway, and I'm like, come on.
I love Black Thought, but also,
Black Thought is
you know,
crazy.
when it was time for Black Thought, you know, he's had the advantage of being in a band for a long time.
I don't. This is not an advantage as an MC. Like, I know that this is a thing that is perpetually spread across. Like, maybe he's going to elaborate here. I don't remember exactly what he said here, but like, being in a band is not a benefit to MCing. It's just not.
And the thing is, there's a different dynamic there than saying, okay, these are Black Thought. And he's had the Stream of Thought projects that I enjoyed. But you know what?
Like, this isn't a group of 9 rappers. This isn't the Wu-Tang Clan as a whole. This is Black Thought as the one sole rapper and a bunch of musicians. It's the same as Freddie Gibbs working with the Alchemists. It's the same as You know, like it's the same type of thing. I just reject this premise 100%.
I don't enjoy any of them more than I enjoy 444.
I disagree with that as well. I like all of the Stream of Thoughts projects more than 444.
So I'm going. Once again, this is because I revisited 444 like.
Jay really likes 444 though. Like he really likes this project.
It was Sunday.
I disagree with that one.
And I'm just saying, like there are things there lyrically and thematically, which and I've always said that this is. And that's again when I talk about how Black Thought leaning on the fact that he was in a group.
He's not. This is not a thing. This is not a thing.
I always thought that Jay-Z has leaned on the fact that, like, okay, I got to do this for corporate situations. I got to do this because I got to be on the radio.
That is a valid point. Because you are catering to capital. You're catering to what's going to sell. Being in a band doesn't do that. You could say that if he's like making songs on the Fallon show. And this is not even a shot at Jay specifically. This is a talking point that a lot of people have. And I just completely reject this premise. It's not even grounded in any type of like, anything that makes sense. Like, it's a band. He's a lyricist in a band. Maybe you can say it from like a popularity standpoint, like, Black Thought is a little bit more popular because he's in a group and he's in a band, but that has nothing to do at all with how dope he is as a lyricist and the fact that he has no bad verses and the fact that he stands on his own principles, if you will, based upon the material that he drops. And he does have a lot of solo stuff. He has features. He rapped for like 900 minutes on like, come on, man.
What made 444 so special to me, it is 100% Jay-Z engaging in his artistic bag. Absolutely. He's not, he didn't, there was no other, everything on there was so personal.
That was the closest that we've got from that in a long time because he didn't have anything to like, he didn't have anything that he had to cater to. He's already rich at that point, right? Again, to me, this is a knock at Jay-Z less Black Thought because Black Thought has not changed. He has always been who he is. And I still, even though I like 444, like, it's not that good. Like, I mean, come on, man.
It's so well done. And so I
think it's just a lot in his grown man rap. And I think we like the fact that Jay-Z did this, and I think I mentioned it here very briefly. It's still like capitalist bars. And that framework is net negative to me. So anyways.
As a footnote, real quick, I'm going to let you finish.
Okay.
The Roots have albums better than 444, but Black Thought as a solo artist does not have records better than 444.
No.
I like every. I disagree. Stream of Thought's better than 444.
Right.
Maybe that might be recency bias.
But that's kind of that preference
I'm
thing I
glad
was
y'all told the
speaking
truth.
to, right?
Okay.
That might be recency bias, because like I said, I don't know what.
And I'll say this: it's perfectly okay that I like what I like, and they like what they like, and you like what you like. Perfectly fine. Doesn't matter. These are just our opinions as music heads. You know what I mean?
I saw something. I didn't realize there was a song about his mom. I didn't, for whatever reason, my algorithm, there's a video for that has like.
And it's also not like, this is also not like, we're not comparing like Black Thought with Lil Pump. These are two amazing artists. These are two of the best MCs of all time. But there's certain premises that get passed along in regards to popularity that I completely reject them because I think it demeans the art as a whole.
Make Fishback in it. And I didn't see this when it came out, and I don't know where it came, and that made me go revisit the album, and I was like, wow, this was really, I praise the album. I think it was my first time being on the show when we talked about 444, and I went back and listened to it, and I was like, wow, this is as good as I remember, if not better.
We did two episodes with that.
Yeah. And so I don't know to say.
We did a part 1 and part 2. This is like episode like 40 or somewhere around there.
He's so much better than Jay-Z. I was like, come on, man. This dude.
Black Thought is an elite MC.
I'm not saying that, but
he's a rapper's rapper.
But I'm also talking about the fact that, at one point Jay-Z he put out an album every year for like 6 or 7 years.
That was
like
his thing.
The amount of material that he's given us, it has so much varied, that is varied so much in themes and in context of what was going on. Some of his stuff has not aged well. I will say that. But at the same time, like I can't to say he's just in another stratosphere as Jay-Z, I think I don't know if that's personal. I don't know if it's something you were saying for clicks and you need us to talk about it, but I just think that is a wild take, and it ain't it. And like I said, Jay-Z has given us so much. I'm not saying Black Thought hasn't, because once again, I'm one of those people that, the Roots was a day one purchase for me since Ill Adult Half-Life.
Come on.
But at the same time, so was Jay-Z.
Even before that.
And when Jay-Z was really trying to say something, as opposed when he had his 3 or 4 songs, it's like, all right, this is for the radio, let's do it. But then when he was giving us some of the stuff on the Dynasty is some of his worst commercial music, but some of his most personal shit.
Come on, man.
And I just can't I can't have you say that shit about Jay-Z when the Jay-Z that I am in tune with is so incredible.
Come on.
Jay-Z's got a lot more misses in my opinion, but but yeah, still he's a great MC and he's a great artist. Definitely more commercially appealing artist. I'm just not a fan of capitalism bars.
Yeah, nor am I. And I think I remember talking about that when we talked 444.
No, I'm not, Mike.
It's funny once you said that. I remember that episode and being like, I remember saying, if you're a fan of capitalism, you're gonna love this album. And Terry literally goes, "Here we go with this shit," or something like that. And I was just like, I was like, that's where we're at today, man. And Jay-Z is extremely talented, man. But
Come on, man.
I would even go as far as to say that Jay-Z made, this is another conversation, is Jay-Z's propping up, being this model of like, quote unquote, Black excellence within hip hop. Has that been a net negative to society? Because people are trying to aspire to be just like him? It's a conversation. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that premise fully, but I definitely believe it's a conversation to where it makes it easier to look at capitalism as not as negative as it is. Yeah, anyways.
First 2 albums, Jay-Z.
Man, Jay-Z is an inspiration.
He is, bro.
No doubt. And he's done so many, just been so successful, as, in hip hop in a lot of different ways, man.
And Terry just mentioned right there, Jay-Z is so inspirational. Sure, you want to be successful, and how he came from nothing and brought it up to the, essentially to what he did and kind of how he conducts himself. There's a lot to respect there. There's a ton to respect there, but I don't think anybody should be a billionaire, regardless of if they're white or black. And I think it's a net negative to society. So, I just look at these things a little bit differently, I think.
And I think that's fantastic. But I also kind of look at him sometimes as like, I hate to say it this way, but like the evil empire almost, man.
But if I'm going to keep it 100 with you, I was a Roots fan before I was a Jay-Z fan.
That's
because
fair.
I was hip to the Roots before I was hip to Jay-Z.
Me too.
Now, the mood and situation where I'm in depends on what I'm going to listen to.
That is a very good point. Like, Black Thought and Jay-Z make 2 completely different styles of music for 2 completely different purposes. Like, Black Thought is almost always in the same type of pocket. And if you really like that pocket, you're really going to like, what he's doing. He just happens to be a phenomenal MC within that. And Jay-Z, he can kind of be in that pocket. Like, I'm not going to say that he can't be in it, but I wouldn't say it's his comfort zone. But he also has he's more willing to go in a route that appeases the lowest common denominator a little bit more. And that shows a little bit of his versatility to a degree. I wouldn't even say necessarily his versatility. Well, maybe it is, but the fact that he can also do that in a successful type of way. And also, we're saying he hasn't really done this in 8-9 years. You know what I mean? So like he's kind of retired at this point, but so we're talking about him in the past tense. Black Thought has continued, and dropped stuff since. 100%.
And as far as seeing live shows, the Roots live show is second to none.
Yeah.
If you've never been able to catch a Roots live show, you should do yourself a favor and do that, because the way they do the show and the way they meld kind of new age shit, and I mean they're on live instruments
for sure,
and they do that shit live. And Black Thought does a freestyle same way Common does, but the Root show is very warm and comfortable. Being a music hip hop
there
fan.
we go. Yep.
A Jay-Z concert is the more live I'm a fly ass dude, I'm gonna have some explosions and
it's
shit
a
here
real
and
fun
there.
rap show.
It's fun.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It is.
It represents Jay-Z, but as a hip hop fan, I can enjoy both of those shows in the same vein and not discredit either one of those
definitely.
artists.
That
Yeah.
part.
But I tell you what, a
think that's
Roots and
important.
Jay-Z's show.
That would be nuts.
I mean, but we've seen
it happened.
exactly.
It's
That's what I was
already
trying to
happened.
get.
Yeah, it's already happened.
Yeah, unplugged.
You know, it's
The whole, not Fade to Black, but whatever. The whole Fade to
Yeah,
Black
Fade
show.
to Black was the root.
Yeah, it was the Roots backing Jay-Z.
Come on,
But
man.
that schism I was talking about before that I think has come up kind of twice now, right? Like, kind of a little bit, like Quick and Dre, and then, Black Thought
That was an earlier topic we talked
and
about.
Jay-Z. Like, do you guys remember, and it's not, remember what they do?
Come on,
Yeah.
man. Come on.
I
And do you remember
literally,
Pimp C coming out and
I
dissing
literally
Come
them
on.
for it?
still played
Come on.
that song in sets on the regular.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember there was this whole thing that, Biggie loved the Roots, and he felt like, damn, man, like
They was dissing him.
They were dissing him, and like Questlove tells a story about how he was going to write this. He wrote this whole op-ed, and this is when people still had fax machines. He was sending it off to the Source magazine, to say what we really meant, and this, that, and the third. We love Biggie too, and it was the night he died.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that conversation went on a little bit longer. So, patreon.com/newoldheads if you want that. But yeah, to kind of wrap this up, man, Jay-Z is a phenomenal artist. Black Thought is a phenomenal artist. Will.i.am was absolutely being a little bit hyperbolic there. You can be a fan of who you like. You can be a fan of both people. Multiple things can be true at the same time. And I think there's just certain premises that I reject when it comes down to the pure just skill. The skill set of being an MC, the skill set of how an artist decides to portray what they decide to portray. There is something to be said about catering to capital that I don't see it as a statistic that improves your player's score. Like if you're a 2K player, that like if you're a center, right, and you go up in defensive rebounding and strength and blocking, that it's going to boost your overall score a ton, right? But if you go up in like, I don't know, 3-point shooting, 3-point shooting is a bad one. There's a couple statistics or stats where you can just crank it up all the way, and it doesn't really improve your overall skill set because it's a cool thing to have. It's cool that you can, dribble really great or pass really great, but at the same time, it's not necessarily a representation of what makes you good at your position, right? And that's kind of the way that I look at this in the same type of way. It's like Jay-Z's got one of those additional skills on the side, which he can appeal to a wider variety of people, but I don't think it makes him a better MC. Hopefully you got my analogy. I don't know. I'm a Black Thought fan, so it is what it is. You're going to be hard pressed to find any level of lyricism better than Black Thought's freestyle on Funkmaster Flex. There's only a handful of MCs that are as good as he is, even though there are many that are pretty close up there with what he does and his consistency. And I will say one last thing is the reason why he scored so high on our GOAT list was his consistency. It was also being a phenomenal MC, but it was also the fact that he was super consistent in everything that he's done. It kind of is what it is. But yeah, Jay-Z's great too, obviously. So this is Unpacked. This is from episode 447 of the New Old Heads. Become a member for free to get notified when we drop new stuff. And if you want all this uncut stuff that we drop every week, typically a day early. Our episode comes out on Thursdays. We drop the uncut on Wednesdays with an extra hour. If you're a $5 member, you get all that. So consider becoming a member of the show. That definitely supports us and what we do and everything behind my head right here. So that being said, I will see you next time. Peace.